Welcome, everybody. I hope you are having a fantastic evening. This is the NFC North Roundtable, arguably the best division of football, certainly the best creators in football for sure. Only 2 games last week, so the recap section of this is going to be a little bit smaller, and then yet another NFC North team has a bye week, but we are going to break it all down from week 5 to week 6. And we have a little bit of a different crew tonight. You're going to notice that there's no Nick, a.k.a. Donald Trump, but we do have Claus filling in for him. Claus, brother, welcome to the roundtable, man.
Thank you, fellas. Thank you for having me. I'm excited for the opportunity to talk some NFC North football. Obviously, talk about the best team in the NFC North, the Chicago Bears, and get it going.
Well, listen, you're going to be on ice for a little bit because you guys didn't have a game last week, unfortunately. So we're going to do the recap. Usually I just have these guys recap their own games, and then we'll get into next week's breakdowns, and that's when you'll be able to talk about, as you put it, the best team in the NFC North. Absolutely love it. Nick is on a hiatus. He's at the Cubs game, so that should be a lot of fun, and so that's why Claus is here. We're very happy to have you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, man. Well, let's get into it. Seemingly the only team in the NFC North that wants to lose to the Browns is the Packers, oddly enough, because the Detroit Lions beat the ever-loving crap out of them, and now the Vikings had their chance. One bar, you got to see Dillon Gabriel making his debut. It was a nice little fun game between him and Carson Wentz. I know the predictions last week were a little all over the place, but the Vikings going into a bye week, play the Browns overseas, get this one done, 21-17. Brother, talk to me about this game.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would much rather have played Joe Flacco than Dillon Gabriel. Vikings have done well against Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is old. He can't move. I think it would have been a much different game if Flacco was out there. But the key going into this game, and the theme was basically, it doesn't matter if it's pretty. It doesn't matter what it is. Just get the dub going into the bye week because it is the Browns and you can't lose to the Browns. And I know they have a good defense and it's all about being 3-2 going into the bye because as of now, Vikings, I mean, injuries are just the story of their team and every team has injuries. I get it, but like it was insane going in this game. This offensive line, I'm going to rattle off our offensive line. Not because anybody cares, but just so I can prove that nobody knows who these guys are. We had Justin School, Will Fries. All right, I'll give you that one. We know who he is. Blake Brandel was playing center, had never taken a snap in his career in college at center. Joe Huber, the undrafted free agent this year, was playing left guard. And then Walter Rouse in the second half was our starting left tackle. Going against probably one of the best defenses in the league. So the fact that the Vikings get a win was pretty crazy. You add on that we gave up the ball twice. We didn't get any turnovers on our end. The Browns were 3 for 3 on fourth down. Like everything just pointed to the Browns should have won this game, but they didn't. I mean, Carson Wentz, he did kind of the same thing. He did enough. He wasn't great. He wasn't horrible. He did enough to get the win. We saw him at the end go get that game-winning touchdown to Jordan Addison, which was beautiful. The best part about this game is what the Vikings have sucked at this year is just their plays. They have taken so long. They're doing play action amongst play action amongst play action. And they were forced with this offensive line to just get the ball out of their hands quick, fast, get TJ Hawkinson involved, something they haven't done. And it worked. It worked against a very good defense. We got, like I said, Hawkinson, I think he had 6 receptions on 6 targets. Justin Jefferson was doing his thing. It was by no means a pretty game. But and then defensively on the defensive side of the ball, you know, Dillon Gabriel, let's be real. I mean, it was pretty painful to watch. Like he was overthrown by 20 yards. But he was making plays with his legs, which has kind of been the Vikings' downfall. And the Vikings did give up 100 yards to Judkins as well. The run defense has been an absolute mild disaster to put it politely. So a lot of good things with the dub. Still a lot of glaring issues, but the main thing is, like I said, I keep saying they had to get the win because we have still yet to really see the 2025 Vikings. And coming off this bye, we're going to get guys like Blake Cashman back. JJ McCarthy's probably still a couple weeks out. Defensively, Andrew Van Ginkel, Donovan Jackson should be coming back. Aaron Jones should be coming back. So it's going to be nice, refreshing in these couple weeks to see what this Vikings team actually is. But at 3-2, I'll take it all day. I mean, if you were to show me this roster and tell me we're going to be 3-2 at the bye, I would be ecstatic. I would probably say, like, you know what, maybe that's more of a 1-4 squad. So 3 wins. We'll take it. And it does not get any easier moving forward. Their schedule is brutal. They got the Lions, Ravens, Chargers, Eagles. We're going to find out real quick where this Vikings team is going. So it's been a little bit of a wild ride so far this year. But like I said, 3-2, going in the bye. Let's get healthy. Let's see what we got.
Well, I do take exception. I absolutely know who Justin School is, ex-49er, by the way. But
Viking he ain't good. He's not good.
He's not good at all. He was with the Bucks last year as well. But so you talked about guys coming back. What about that offensive line? Because the interesting thing is that this offseason, that's kind of what you guys were excited about, was this rebuilt offensive line. It should be one of the better ones in football. And it's been absolutely decimated. Are those guys coming back? Like, what does that look like after the bye week, in your opinion?
So Christian Darrisaw is back. He's on a little bit of a snap count. So Walter Rouse was chucked out there at left tackle last week. I mean, and I didn't even mention, like, Myles Garrett, he didn't even have a sack. It's crazy to me that he did not get a sack. And Darrisaw was just, I mean, he was manhandling him early. So Darrisaw will be pretty much full go. And then our left guard, first round pick, Donovan Jackson, is going to be practicing this week. He should be back. And then center Ryan Kelly, dude, I don't even think he plays another snap for the Vikings. He had those 2 concussions within 3 weeks. We know he had concussion issues with the Colts. He is on the short-term IR, but really, I don't know if he plays again. And then right side, Will Fries. Brian O'Neill has the MCL issue. They're kind of being quiet about how long he's going to be back, but he's not on the IR. So they put a ton of money into it, a ton of effort in a position to protect J.J. McCarthy. And this is the craziest stat, is the Vikings have had 13 different configurations at offensive line this year in 5 weeks. That's got to be a record. Like 13 different variations. That's insane.
Crazy. That's pretty
we haven't
crazy.
seen it yet. We don't know if they're good or bad.
Right. Well, we know that at least on paper they're more talented than what's been rolling out there. You think JJ's out another couple weeks after the bye even?
They were hoping he was going to be practicing in London. He never got on the field. We have a bye now. They're saying, I mean, it's leaning more towards a 6-week injury. And honestly, I mean, I don't want to say, like, let's not put this guy out here against the Eagles coming out of the bye, but I'm kind of saying let's not put this guy out there against the Eagles after the bye. Like, it doesn't get any easier. I mean, they got the Lions, they got the Ravens. I mean, there's some very good teams, but I think they keep him out another week just for his sake and just make sure he's 100% go.
Carson Wentz revenge game, huh? Is that what I'm hearing against the Eagles?
Baby.
I like it. All right. Yeah.
You know what? Wentz hasn't looked horrible. He hasn't looked horrible. We've had worse backups. I'll take it.
There we go. Hey, well, listen, you guys are about to be on the bye, and I'm actually going to ask Claus and Bass the same thing because you guys are coming off of a bye. But first, I'll start with you, One Bar. It sounds like for you, you're happy the bye week is early. I know that everybody's kind of all over the place, and it depends on how the season goes. But with all the injuries and the way that everything's gone, you seem pretty excited to have this early bye week to kind of get everything back on track and get some players back. Am I reading that situation right?
100%. I mean, before the season, everything, I love later buys. I always do. This year, hell no. I wish the bye was 2 weeks ago, man. I'm all for the early one. The injuries have just been absolutely insane.
Absolutely. And Claus, what about you? I know that Nick was excited about the bye and the timing of it, just with kind of how the season had started. Do you echo those sentiments, or do you wish that it had been a little bit later for y'all?
I think going into any season, you want a later bye week, but where the Bears are injury-wise, this is a perfect time. They're going to get Kyler Gordon back. They're going to get TJ Edwards back. And so dudes are going to be able to get healthy that have had some nagging injuries that have been out. I think Kyler Gordon coming back in is a huge plus for the Bears going forward on defense. Today, Ben Johnson talked about how that could add to the run defense because he's a Nick who likes to get his nose dirty a little bit. So all those things are a positive, and I think it can come at a better time. They also talked about that first quarter for Ben Johnson, really figuring out how the offense is going to work and what they can do going forward. So Caleb and Ben and the offense should be able to fire on better cylinders here going after this bye week. So I think it comes at a perfect time for the Bears.
Guys, one thing that's not debatable is Claus' mic is way better than Nick's. Let me tell you.
Oh,
there's no cutting out on that thing. It's crisp.
Oh, I like hearing that. Oh, I can't wait to tell him about that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Bass, what about you, man? With your bye, the way that it timed out, do you wish it had been a little bit later, or do you like the timing of the bye week for you guys?
Yeah, I'm gonna echo the same thing as Claus and One Bar. I mean, I love later buys. Like if it was week 12, 13 when the schedule came out, it'd be like perfect, awesome, right? But week 4 is usually terrible, but same as you guys, we have had a significant amount of injuries, especially on our offensive line. We had Zach Tom out with the oblique injury, tried to play a play in that Browns game, had a check out, said he couldn't do it. Then we have the whole game without Zach Tom against the Browns, and you guys know how that went. Didn't have him and Aaron Banks against the Cowboys. So, we're going to be getting 2 offensive linemen back this week against the Bengals who don't have a good front, but still getting these guys back, continuing that continuity on the offensive line. The Packers had such a great offensive line last year, and it's just been so mismatched throughout this year so far. Tons of injuries, guys not playing well, not playing up to par. So the offensive line simply getting healthy there is huge. And then guys like Tucker Kraft, who kind of had like a knee injury scare, he got to rest for an extra week. We see Christian Watson potentially coming back. I mean, I don't see him this week, but, still to see him 9 months post ACL moving around there without a brace or a sleeve on his leg is crazy. Like, he looks good out there. So, I echo the same thing. Just getting guys healthy and a lot of starters, being able to get that extra week off is definitely going to help this team.
Absolutely. Well, enough about bye weeks, because we did have another team in this division actually play a football game, beating the Bengals 37-24. That would be the Detroit Lions. Dose, you guys, speaking of injuries, I mean, gosh, you got some good news on Arnold today. Doesn't sound like his season's going to be over, which is good, but continuing that trend from last year, you guys are starting to get banged up once again. But you do handle business against the Bengals, who have now traded for Joe Flacco. We'll see how that goes against the Packers this week. But you guys get the dub. You got to feel good about that. Talk to me about this game and what happened in this one.
I knew that was coming. I should have just zoomed out right before. This is disappointing, man. You know what? Let me get right for everybody watching. Look, man, this is real quick on the Terrion thing. Thank goodness. Oh my! That was like I was so happy. It was like we made a trade when I found out that news. I mean, the cornerback position. Like, I got a Rakestraw jersey. This dude doesn't even play for the Lions. I feel like at this point he's never healthy, and it stinks. All right, and then Terrion Arnold's the other guy that I believe in, man. I really do. And then all of a sudden, it looks like he's out for the season. So this is beautiful news. I'm so happy about it. But in terms of this game, I think this game went sort of as expected, just out of order. Like, I thought that Cincinnati picked it up a little bit way later than I thought they would. I thought they'd have a few big plays. They'd get a couple shots, a couple DPIs that would keep the drives alive. We were coming in a little bit thin at corner. Now, Terrion did play, which was great, but I thought we'd have some of that early. So I was like, okay, we'll probably get a little back and forth. That didn't happen at all. They came out horribly offensively. Jake Browning looked terrible. Like, he just everything looked awful for him offensively. They couldn't pass the ball at all. And it almost didn't look like an NFL team for really the entire first half watching them offensively until the end of the game when they got some explosives and it became a little bit interesting. So offensively for us, we had Gibbs rolling. And in the second half, we were able to tweak some things, get Dave Montgomery going a little bit. I thought we'd be maybe a little more dominant in the run game. I thought we were good. I thought we'd be dominant. But coming in without Taylor Decker, I think shook some of that up. It also kind of took away, to me, some of the explosives downfield in the pass game. That was very limited. But I think outside of that, we could have maybe had one or two at least shots down the field that I don't think really became a thing because we didn't have Decker, and understanding Trey Henderson was going to give him some problems. But I think we handled that well. We didn't really force the issue on that. We just kind of lived in that check down game, which I kind of expected it to be that way anyway. So it was fine. We had guys that could make it work. Laporta cooked because of that. So it's good to get other guys going. It wasn't a JMO day. It was the Laporta day, and he cooked. The running backs did some things underneath. So overall, I felt like this game kind of went as I expected it to go for the most part. They just started to score a little bit late. It never really felt like it was a game, to be honest with you, but the score got a little bit closer because Chase hit a double move and, because they had a couple penalties that kept a drive alive towards the end of the game. But outside of that, I'm still very happy with this coaching staff. I know last week we talked a little bit about, kind of the changes at coordinator. I'm at this point now. I kind of teased it last week. Kelvin Shepard's better than Aaron Glenn. I mean, again, I'm not saying that with disrespect. I just think that he is really good as a defensive coordinator because I think his mentality is better. And that's not to say that Glenn could have done this year one because he didn't have the same guys year after year. But Kelvin Shepard having these guys here that all know what it looks like defensively, and then obviously some tweaks just to the defense, his ability to change it up week after week and give something different. I think we had the perfect plan. We just said, we're not giving him the big play. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, that's the only thing that can beat us. And we didn't let it happen in that game. So I have been super pleased with the coordinators on both sides. Tweaks are always felt offensively. And overall, it was a good win. We did what we were supposed to do. Nothing crazy. Just did what we were supposed to do.
Well, talk to me about some of these injuries because you guys are certainly getting banged up a little bit. Not quite as bad as last year, but, you started with some guys, big name guys already out when the season started, and you're adding to that list. talk to me about like some of the big name players and what the expectancy is for these guys, at least what you're hearing early on with some of these injuries.
Yeah. So I will start with Terrion because that was the concern. He was going to get a second opinion. We thought with the shoulder, maybe he's out for the year. The second opinion, then one person, I guess, stated he could be back within the month, which, I mean, at that point, you're talking about getting into the bye week before Minnesota. So that could be on the table. I would be surprised, but he hasn't been put on IR yet. He's on the injury report today with not practicing. So I would think at best, it's got to be like 3 weeks. I would think at best we're talking about Minnesota. But potentially maybe that game or a few games after he's back in. DJ Reed, I don't really know. I just know it's kind of like end of the season, I think, is the expectation. He's already been put on IR, but he is expected to be back at some point. And then the big news is Ali McNeil has got back to practice. And they said it was a 50-50 shot that he was going to play this last week. And he didn't end up playing, but he was I think he had a full participation the last day. And it was like, okay, this guy actually might play. I thought that'd be crazy for the first week coming off a torn ACL, but that makes me believe that maybe there's a real path to him playing this week. And that's one of our big money men. You know what I mean? That's the guy that's going to get – that's really the opposite of Hutch. We talk about who's the opposite of Hutch. It's really Ali McNeil. So getting him back, I think, changes a lot of what you expect from just a pass rush side of things up front. The other guys have done a really nice job to this point, but it makes that maybe our strongest unit. We came in thinking cornerback strongest unit. That's been very depleted. That feels like our strongest unit right now as a team.
Who are your corners right now? Like,
well, let me pull up the depth chart. And well, right now, Khalil Dorsey's also into IR. Forgot about that one. So right now we're looking at Rock Ya-Sin, dog. Let's just put that out there, dog. Opposite of Rock Ya-Sin, I mean, right now my thought is they're probably going to put a guy like Maddox in the slot and kick out Amik Robertson to play out wide. I like him more out wide than in the slot. They also did today go out and add Arthur Mollet. I don't know how to say his name, but the Baltimore corner, I do like him a bit. Yep. And then Trey Flowers as well is also there. So right now, I think you kind of just roll with putting a guy like Maddox in the slot and going with what you know on the outside, at least for the few weeks. But they do have options. Just those backup options haven't played here. So we'll find out.
I mean, maybe his injury was just way worse than what it was made out to be. But Asante Samuel Jr., brother, you can't get a job with all the cornerback injuries in the league. Like, what is going on there? I'm shocked this guy has not landed on a team. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is wild. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that whole thing. But, we got Arthur. Arthur's a dog, okay? Let's talk about Arthur a little bit.
All right. Hey, all right. No, Arthur Millette, no problem. A little bit skinny, but he just gets his nose dirty. All right.
That's what I'm talking about. You know what, Naylor? Couple minutes, break down Arthur Mollet for the people. If you want.
Listen, my son's a Ravens fan. I've seen him an awful lot, man.
All right, so we're not a fan. All right.
He is. He's a little bit thin frame, but he definitely is not afraid to get in there and make tackles, which I know that's right up Dan Campbell's alley. So you can definitely do some things with him. Nothing special, but he's going to compete. He will definitely compete when he's out there. You give him that. So
I love it.
All right, let's talk about today's sponsor, Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy app out there. You can get a 100% deposit match of up to $100 using promo code RTS. And even better, if you've ever been on the fence with playing Sleeper, now is the time. If you use promo code RTS, you're going to get a free 20 bones to play with. No deposit required. So just use the promo code RTS, try it out, see what you think. You can either tail us, you can fade us, whatever it is you want to do. But we got to make some picks today, gentlemen. And with those picks, we're going to start with the Packers and the Bengals. That means, Bass, you get to make a pick here. Whatever tickles your face. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm so excited. I've been showing this to everybody, by the way. So we're going to go to Jordan Love, for example. 238.5 passing yards. Maybe you feel like that's a little steep. You can tease these up or down. Did you guys know that? I didn't know this.
No, I didn't know that.
I did.
Okay. All right, Bass. Jeez. Wow. All right. So you've been letting me flounder all these weeks. You know what? Just because of that, I'm going to make the pick on Love, and we're going to basically take a freebie here. No, 275. This is my money we're playing with. I'm going safe, 175. You guys have been losing me a lot. I'll give you another one. Is Josh Jacobs score or not?
I mean, he had 1 week off a couple weeks ago where he didn't score, and he was going for that LT record of, I think, 12 touchdowns straight, including postseason. Didn't get it, but then came back last week and scored. So I think it's a good bet. Like, I feel like Josh Jacobs gets a lot of touches near the goal line.
Yeah, well, and it is the Bengals, so what are you going to do? Yeah. Okay, we got a great Sunday night football game. We got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jared Goff on the touchdowns. Anything that you're liking here, or we could look at some yards here if you want. We can look at some rush yard. Oh no, we can't. Not yet. It's not loaded. So we're gonna have to go with touchdowns here, bud. touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, hold up. Is Goff just 0.5 touchdowns? Does that mean he has to run?
No,
it's
one and a
okay.
half. 1.5 passing.
He's to run one.
I was like, wait a
So
minute.
does he
That's
have to
bad.
run
No
one
wonder.
in?
We got one. I like that. I like him hitting the over on that. We're gonna have to
Okay,
score.
all right.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go more on that.
I've been hitting mine. I mean, we can look at the history. I feel like I've been hitting
Listen, you haven't been doing too bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie. And listen, I'll tell you who has been sucking Nick. So maybe I got a chance this week with Claus filling in. Claus, either Roma Dunze or DeAndre Swift. Take your pick, more or less on a touchdown, anytime touchdown with these guys.
Well, Roma Dunze is the only wide receiver that's scored in every single game so far. So I'm going to take Roma Dunze for more or over
I love it.
0.5 touchdowns scored this week.
Perfect. We're gonna take it. We're gonna put. You know what, guys? I have a lot of faith in you. I'm gonna put 20 down on this one. 20 down to win 92. There we go. That's the picks for the week. Like I said, promo code RTS. Link is pinned at the top of the description. Definitely take advantage of that free $20. No deposit required. All right, fellas, it's time to get into week 6, a big week. Vikings are on a bye week, so one bar, you get to at least sit out the prediction of your team, but you're going to make some predictions for some of these other teams. First game on the docket, we got Packers versus Bengals. Joe Flacco gets to face the Packers for the second time in 4 weeks. You got to love this one. 4:25 time slot. One bar, we're actually going to start with you on this one. Who do you have winning this game, Packers or Bengals, and what's the score prediction?
Man, the last 2 Packer games, I predicted the Packers to win handedly, and they made me look like fools. So don't get me wrong, the Packers are going to win this game, but I'm going to tread lightly here.
Do it.
Bengals are so bad. I mean, it would be funny. Yeah, Joe Flacco beats him twice. I'll laugh my ass. I'll just come on next week, and it would be very fun. It would be hilarious. But there's no way. The Bengals are just a mess right now. It is very gross. They've given up 27 plus points 3 weeks in a row. I'm going to say 21-17 Packers. Deep down, I know it should and probably will be a lot bigger victory for the Packers. But like I said, they've burned me 2 weeks in a row. So Packers
21-17. All right. Claus, what about you? Who do you have winning this one, Packers or Bengals?
I'll do it. The Bengals are going to win. Bengals are going to win this game. Packers are going to lose.
He doesn't have to be held accountable. He can say whatever the hell he wants right now. He doesn't have to come back.
No, I will come back, but no, I don't have to come back, and I'm not going to pick the Packers on my first appearance as a Bears fan. But yeah, I'll pick the Bengals to win. I think that there's going to be a little spark there with old Joe Flacco, and I think it's going to be we'll go 27-23 Bengals.
27-23 Bengals. Love it. I love it. Dose, you going to agree with Claus, or are you going with one bar on this one? Who wins this?
Man, I want to, man. You know that spread is 14.5, which is nuts.
Crazy.
No, did not know that line.
I mean, it's just like I don't know what the Bengals do well. I'm going to be honest, and I do think that Love's going to get a couple shots in this game. But if that's all he gets, the Bengals have a chance, because you're right. Joe Flacco, let's not overlook that. I actually think this is going to help them a lot. I really do. They have receivers. They just need someone to put the ball out there. Flacco is not the best, but he's going to put the ball out there. It's going to come down to me, that Cincy D line versus that Packers O line. Bass, real quick, how banged up are you guys on the O line for this?
We should be fully healthy. Tom should be back. It's not a guarantee. Banks should be back as well. So the starting 5 should be out there.
I hate to do it. Give me the Packers then. I think that's the one advantage for them. You know, they got to get some real big time plays, maybe some strip sacks. If they're healthy, they're not going to get that.
He hates to do it. All right. Well, Bass, you got one guy picking against you. I'm assuming you're going with your Packers. What's the score of this one?
Yeah. First, I just wanted to say the last quarterback in a season to beat the same team twice for 2 different teams was 1962 Jack Kemp. So if it happens, I probably will cry on stream next
Politician Jack Kemp.
It is politician, ex-military Jack Kemp. Same guy. So I hope that doesn't happen. Obviously, Joe Flacco, I give him credit because, you know, I'm a UD fan, and the guy just continues to find jobs, which is crazy. Because when you look at it, I was really hoping, like when I watched the Bengals Lions, I was like, all right, they're definitely going to like move on from Browning. Like there's no way they're not going to. And I really wish that wasn't the case. And I was like expecting them to maybe go out and call for someone like Jameis Winston, who's given us some bits in the past, but they went and got Joe Flacco, who statistically is worse than Browning, albeit he doesn't have Chase and Higgins, but a 60.3 passer rating. And the one thing he got going with the Browns against the Green Bay Packers was really just throwing the ball quickly, pretty much not allowing the Packers to get a ton of like actual hits on them. Yeah, they got pressure, but not a ton of hits. But the Bengals offensive line is somehow worse than the Browns offensive line. If you look at comparably PFF and ESPN scores combined, right? For example, the Broncos' best offensive line with 98 score. The Browns are at 18. The 32nd, the worst offensive line is the Bengals at a score of 9 out of 100. So there's a lot of issues there on that offensive line. And we know the Packers so far through this season, the one thing that's been pretty consistent is their defensive line getting pressure. Micah Parsons, in terms of a per pass rush snap, has the most pressures in the league, and he's been doing a really good job and opening up opportunities for other guys like Rashawn Gary. Now, Devontae Wyatt likely won't be in this game, which I think is something they got to figure out. They don't have a ton of depth at that 3-tech spot behind him. I think Warren Brinton, a guy they drafted in the 6th round out of Georgia, will be finally active in this game over someone like Nazir Stackhouse, who's more of a nose tackle who's been active in the past. They got to figure that out in the D-line, but this is a good week to figure it out against a very, very poor Bengals offensive line. And Jordan Love's playing at a very, high level. They're coming off scoring 40 points on offense against, albeit the Dallas Cowboys defense. But, Jordan Love this year so far, 70% completion rate, 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception, 113 quarterback rating. The run game started to get going last week. It was still a bit of a struggle, but it got going like 3rd to 4th quarter. That's kind of been the reoccurring theme. It seems like every week it's like, okay, 1st, 2nd, halfway into the 3rd, there's no run game to speak of. But yet again, I think the Packers will have success running the football as well. This is not the Browns defense like we played. And, again, the Browns defense is a lot better than the Cincinnati Bengals defense. Cincinnati has the 3rd worst defense in terms of yards per game allowed. They're the 3rd worst. Against the pass, they're the 4th worst. And against the run, they're the 8th worst. So I think the Packers are going to have some success here. I think they have to. I think it's a good week for someone like Matthew Golden to crack that 100-yard mark, for Jordan Love to, like I said, 275 passing yards. You think I was joking, but I really do think he could hit that mark there. And for the defense to get right. He just let up 38 points against the Cowboys. And albeit Dak Prescott is playing at an extremely high level, but that defense didn't look like, at least through the first 3 weeks, like they could be letting up that many points, and they did against the Cowboys. So this is a get-right game out of the bye. Get a little healthy, get some guys back, play the Bengals, and hopefully not lose to Joe Flacco again, so he can join good old Jack Kemp as the only quarterback to win 2 games, or to beat a team twice with 2 different teams in the same exact year. If that happens, like I said, I will have to sit on here and probably just cry the entire time next week. So I'm going to go Packers 35-14.
Well, if he does, Joe Flacco's got a career in politics after this. That's one thing we do know. Listen, nothing says primetime football like the NFC North, because I swear they've got a team in primetime every single week. It's absolutely crazy. They've got 2 this week. We're going to start with Sunday Night Football. Lions at a very, very desperate Kansas City Chiefs. Must win, really, for them, it feels like. And the Lions are not an easy team to beat, so this one's going to get really interesting. I know that if the Lions win, somehow most of the NFL will rejoice that the Chiefs are terrible, but can they win? Will they win? That is the question. One bar, we're going to start with you. Lions at the Chiefs, Sunday Night Football. Who do you have in this one?
Oh, this is going to be beautiful. This is going to be a fun-ass game to watch, but I mean, you said it, Lions are so damn hot right now. I mean, I expect a lot of scoring, a lot of back and forth, hopefully. And Lions offense, I mean, Lions offense just look absolutely insane, and they're going to keep Mahomes off the field. But KC, their panties got to be in a little bit of a bunch after that last game, and they're going to maybe come out a little bit of pissed off. But I think when all is said and done, Goff is 2-0 against Mahomes, and I think when the game is over, I think he will be 3-0 career against him. And the Chiefs will end up going 2-4. I got Lions 28-20.
All right, Claus, you definitely faded the Packers. Are you going to do the same thing to the Lions here?
No, I'm not. I'm going to take the Lions to win this game, but I was looking at the line and the spread here. The Chiefs are actually favored in this game.
Yeah.
Minus 2.5. I think that's actually a crazy line for what this is. I think the Lions are a juggernaut. Obviously, the Chicago Bears took an ass kicking week 2 via the Detroit Lions, but even being desperate in KC, I think that the Lions are just going to prove to be the better team and win this game. I like a similar score, like a 28-22 game, somewhere in that round.
I like it. All right, Bass, are you going to be the only one to pick against Detroit on the panel?
Yeah, I'm going to do it. But and you know why? Here's my reasoning, right? You said that line is crazy. It is, right? The Lions have 2.5 points. 92% of the money is on the Lions. 92% right now.
Oh,
that don't make me feel well against KC in KC. Did you see Patrick Mahomes bullied the refs into removing that OPI? Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
you saw
I did
that,
see
right?
that.
Right, you did see that. Okay, so 92% of the money, and this is all I'm just conspiracy Alex right now. That's what I'm doing. 92%, on the money on the Lions. It's in KC. It's Patrick Mahomes. KC has a good pass defense. They're 7th. Lions have a good pass offense. They're 12th. So I think that's a good matchup there. I still think Detroit's going to have a lot of success running the football here, but overall, I don't know the Chiefs aren't a 2-3 football team. I really don't think so. And I don't think they'll end up being a 2-4 football team. The Lions are really, really hot, but it's in KC, and I think that's a little bit of an edge for me here. It's still Patrick Mahomes. It's still the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid. So I'm going to go 31-28. Give me a game-winning field goal. KC.
Oh, I love it. Dose, you got two of these guys picking the Lions. You got Bass fading them. What say you, sir?
Yeah, man, I don't know if I love that, man. 92% is kind of crazy, but I don't know what Dan's record is, but he's done really well against the spread. I know he's done really well. So I believe in that, and I think they're going to handle business again in this game. I do think this one is going to be higher scoring than I think I usually go. I'm always under for some reason. I'm always missing, but I do think this one's going to get up there a bit. I think for us in this one, they get the ball really fast. Kansas City does a great job. They get the ball in their hands quickly. They protected that offensive line, which I think has been okay to this point. They have some weaknesses up there, and I think we can go after, especially if Liam's playing. I think that's going to change a lot. They're going to have some real problems up front, but the positive for them is I think they're prepped to do that. They're prepared to get the ball out quickly. They don't have to take shots down the field, and they're going to be fine offensively. And then I flip it to the other side of the ball defensively for them. What do they have on the defensive front? Chris Jones hasn't felt as effective this year. I think their linebacker room's been really good. I think Nick Bolton's kind of carried the way for them a bit. They're really nice in the back end in terms of like just matching coverages, and they don't give you wide open windows to throw to. But it's just going to come down to, can we just buy a little time? And without Taylor Decker, if Taylor Decker doesn't play, he didn't practice again. I appreciate it. If he didn't practice again. So if he's not playing in this game, do we have the time to set up some of those longer-winded shot plays? Because I think we're going to get those open in this game. It's just, do we have the time to do it? And assuming we do, Dan Skipper gets the nod. I'm more confident with it. I think we're going to put a lot of points on the board. So I'm going to go 34-27. We're going to go high scoring in this one.
Ooh, all right. I like it. 3 out of the 4 picking the Detroit Lions. That would be something, man, to watch Kansas City Chiefs fall to 2-4. That would be beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, not just one primetime game, but we got 2 Monday Night Football, Bears Commanders. This one is reopening old wounds. The Hail Mary that was last year that completely flipped the Bears season on its head from that point on. Something I don't think many of us will forget, certainly not in one short season, but it is a chance for the Bears to get this one back. Going to be a lot of fun. They're coming off of a bye. You got to love that. Dose, we're actually going to go right back to you, man. Bears, Commanders, Monday Night Football. Who do you have taking this one?
Yeah, this one's going to be good. I'm very excited for this one. This is fun. This is some good primetime football. By the way, one bar, I love the morning games, but those are atrocious. I mean, what are we doing? Those games are so bad. It's like, it's football, but kind of not really, okay? Just watch the field goal. It's really bad, but this will be good. And for me, like Washington getting Jaden Daniels back, it's changed so much. It feels like I don't know a ton of exactly what I'm going to get. Kyler Gordon, when I saw his name pop up, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is going to change a lot for them. So I think that's going to be a huge X factor in this game. I think the strengths and the weaknesses balance out pretty well for both sides. I think Chicago is going to handle business, though. I think they're going to win this one. I see this one being pretty high scoring as well this week. Washington's done a pretty good job defensively. But I just love the matchups at receiver versus their defensive backs. That's where I think they win on that. I think they're going to have one-on-one wins. It's just, can that front hold up a bit? I think they can. I don't think it's that dominant up front for Washington. And then on the flip side, I think Jaden's going to do a lot extra, like off script. But ultimately, I think we're going to get a lot of points both sides. I'm going to go like 30-27. Give me Chicago.
30-27 Chicago. Claus likes that one, man. He is absolutely all over it. One bar. What do you think of this one? Bears, Commanders, Monday Night Football. I'll tell you what, man, as a Vikings fan, you get to sit back on a bye week, watch your division play in 2 primetime games. You got to enjoy this one, man. You just sit back and chill and root against them. Bears, Commanders, who do you have going in this one?
Yeah, no stress. I can't wait. I mean, Tyreek Stevenson. I mean, this is a revenge game, baby. This is one of the worst plays I've ever seen a football player make it in my entire life. And this is his moment to come out and, you know what, shut him down. But I think he's doing the opposite. I think the dude's getting exploited again. The Bears are horrible against the run. The Redskins are running the hell out of the ball. I think this is a bad matchup when it comes to that. I will say this: if the Bears end up winning this game and win 3 in a row against Washington, I'm going to start being like, open my eyes a little bit to the Bears. I mean, I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks. We're like, all right, they've won 2 in a row. They had the bye week. Like, if the Bears won, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, I can't believe it just happened. But I am going to pick Washington. I just think that run game is going to be a little tough for the Bears to handle because they haven't done it all year. I got 21-13. Commanders get the dub.
Man, and it's in Washington, I believe. So what? I think it was there last year as well. So this is talk about going back to the scene of the crime in short order. This is certainly that. Bass, who do you have winning this one, Bears or Commanders on Monday Night Football?
Well, Claus, I'm going to return the favor here, even though I already had it written down. I mean, I would have changed it if I had Bears. I definitely would have changed it just because of that. But got to give the hate back too as well. But Washington's coming off a huge win against the Chargers. Getting Jane Daniels back's big for them. A healthy Jane Daniels, so it seems. But the Bears are playing really well as well. It seems like they're getting that energy through Ben Johnson. It just seems like everything's starting to kind of click in that way. Now, Washington is a bottom half pass defense. So I think Caleb and Adunze, DJ Moore, all these guys are going to find success. But, One Bar said it best. I think the run defense, the Bears are the second worst run defense in the league right now. And Krosky Merritt's averaging 6.6 yards per carry. And I think the Commanders are finally realizing, just give this guy the ball. He's our running back, give him the ball. And I think they're going to control the clock, and they're going to control, just dictate the game a little bit there. So, with both Krosky Merritt and Jaden Daniels being able to run the football, it's at home. I think it's going to be a close one, though. Just like One Bar said, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked. Oh my gosh, the Bears just beat the Commanders or anything. I think it'd be a close one, but I got Washington 31-27.
Well, you got love from the Lions fan, but you gave him love back, so that makes sense. Claus, what are your thoughts on this one, man? This is, I know that this one really stung last year, but you get a chance at revenge. You're coming off the bye week. I do like teams coming off of a bye for sure. We'll see if it serves the Chicago Bears well, but Monday Night Football in Washington versus the Commanders. How do you see this one going down, brother? Give me a breakdown.
Well, the one thing I think that is really interesting is we haven't seen Ben Johnson off the bye yet. We've seen before the Bears have recently been really bad off of the bye. So I'm hoping that this is a change of pace and that they're going to actually perform a lot better. But I feel like this one's personal. It's personal to Bears fans for sure, because for the entire year, that last year and the beginning of this season already, it's been Caleb versus Jaden. And then the Hail Mary last year, where the Bears really dominated that game the entire time last year. People forget that. That Hail Mary made people not realize that Caleb Williams drove down the field and scored a touchdown when it mattered the most to actually be able to win that game or have put them in a position to win that game. So I believe the Bears are going to come out and take it personally. Right now, the team is downplaying it. It's last year. It's not important, but it has to be important. You got to think a guy like Caleb Williams, who should have a pretty large ego in the sense of how good he can be at quarterback, is going to look at this game as something that he needs to really focus on and be able to get out there and perform at his best. I think Ben Johnson is going to start to learn how to use those weapons a lot better in Luther Burton III, and hopefully we get Colston, Loveland back healthy, but the defense is going to be improved. TJ Edwards, the middle linebacker, is going to be back. Kyler Gordon is back. It's not the same team we've seen the last couple weeks, so I think this will be the best version of the Bears so far this season. Give me the Bears in a shootout. 37-34, Chicago Bears win on Monday Night Football against the Washington Commanders.
Oh, 37-34. Man, I hope that's the case. I would love to watch that game as an outsider for sure. I'm looking forward to these games, man. The NFC North primetime television. We got Viking came in with he's got his membership for 12 months. We appreciate it, but he was out early, fellas, because of the ads. I don't even know how that happens. I do set the ads, but at worst, you should see them every 18 minutes. So I don't know how, 24 minutes into the show, you'd already had 3. Feel bad about that, but that's a YouTube thing. Not really much I can do about that one, brother. Hopefully you come back though. We appreciate your contribution. No doubt about it. Well, listen, a couple teams on a bye last week. Team on a bye this week. That means shorter show, but a great show. Make sure you guys in the chat show support for the NFC North Roundtable. Hit the like button, subscribe. We got the best creators in the business here. For Claus, Bass, One Bar, Dose, I'm your host, Jesse. Until next week, same time, same place, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you then. Good luck, NFC North. Peace.